Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this book review video today, we're going to talk about The Maid's Secret, and this is by Shari J. Ryan. Now, Shari J. Ryan has written I have read at least 6 or so of her historical fiction books, and I really cannot get enough of them. They're just so good. A recent series I read by her, I don't quite remember the name of the series. It was one story told from 3 perspectives. So when I saw The Maid's Secret come up for review, there was not even any doubt that I would select this book for review. I like this book because it has a different storyline. In fact, it gave me a little bit of insight into a culture or community I really haven't read much of in any book, never mind a historical fiction book. Now, we know that it takes place in Czechoslovakia around 1940. While the story itself begins in 1938, it moves forward a couple of years when the intensity of the story grows. What happens in the story? Well, we have 2 characters. We have Mila Leon and Benedict Bodan. Okay? Benedict's family are affluential Jews living in Czechoslovakia. Mila and her family are Romani travelers, a community of what I think is a politically incorrect term, gypsies. I know that's a politically incorrect term, so just bear with me. That's what her family is, and soon Mia, she's close to the age of 18, she becomes a maid for Ben's family. Ben at the time was also about the age of 18. Well, the 2 of them had a draw to one another, but Mila tried to keep her head down because in the family that she was working for, when she became a maid to his family, it was Ben, his 3 brothers, and his mom and dad. Ben's father was an easygoing Jewish man who was very unassuming and did everything he could. Sorry, getting rid of the cat. Did everything he could for his family. But his mother had a bitter edge about her, and what's made another layer of this is that Ben's brother Tobias had strong prejudices and was very harsh. So while Ben and Mila started to have feelings for one another, Mila, like I said, tried to keep her head down because she was dealing with the difficult Tobias. She was dealing with the bitter and not evil, but mean Mrs. Bodan. But she was also dealing with sudden and great loss on something that was part of her life. But I leave that to you, when you read it. Meanwhile, like I said, Ben and his family, they were affluential Jews. They had everything they could want. They had a beautiful house. They had land. They owned the property. They had horses. The father actually had a hobby where at some point, Mila's father sold Ben's father 2 horses that he was going to use for racing. That's how well they were living. Well, the thing is, the Germans were at some point going to invade Prague, Germany, Czechoslovakia, anywhere the Germans could get to, they were going to get to. And what would happen is it would change the course of every person in that area. Whether they were man, woman, or child, it's going to affect each and every one of them. Not only did it affect the Jews, but it also affected the Romani community that Mila was a part of. But like I said, Ben and Mila had strong feelings to one another. And as the story progressed, we see that it was a story that was full of tragedy, darkness, sadness. But then there was love, strength, hope, and some hopeful window into the future. So how could all the darkness that existed with the German soldiers coming in, with the problems within the household itself, with the tragedy that Mila experienced, how could hope, love, and strength come into the picture, especially as the story shifted? Well, I'm telling you right now, Shari J. Ryan writes these amazing, amazing stories. There's no way that any reader, at least in my opinion, can read one of her stories and not feel completely pulled in. Completely pulled in. And like I said, story is unique. And one of the things that makes this story unique is that there were society dictates at that time. Society dictates is something that I kind of sensed when I was reading this story, especially as the story progressed. So if you like historical fiction, if you like compelling characters, a unique storyline, and a story that ends on a very positive note despite all the sadness throughout, then don't hesitate to read The Maid Secret by Shari J. Ryan. Yes, I know I should mention that you can get this at your Kindle store for $3.99, but yes, it will also be available for Kindle Unlimited if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. And last thing I'll say is Bookouture does do print on demand if you'd like to start collecting Shari J. Ryan's books for your library. I'm telling you, her historical fiction is amazing, and that's exactly what you're going to see in The Maid Secret. All right, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.